Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Walk round the compound system tentacles. Walk round. There's no squeak. Well, look at what we have here. We got a little bitty sheriff. A little Miss Sheriff. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. Scruffy babies. Ugh. Ugh. Sheriff Baggy. A slightly older reference. Slightly older reference. In relative terms to the content as a whole. Which that's an odd concept, honestly, because I haven't done a lot of Sheriff Baggy stuff in a while, so there's probably a lot of like new subscribers and new followers to the Vine accounts and stuff like that who are like, Sheriff Baggy, who's that? Who's that? Who's Sheriff Bags? Most of you probably know, because that's another thing. Also, I forget that yes, while I get a lot of new followers, one of the first things that they do is just go kaploosh into the pool of BCD content. So, go lower. Oh my goodness, you're so cute. So there's something to be said about that. Becky, we're just gonna follow you around for the next half hour. How about that? Ooh, what a stretch. Fascinating. Ah, kitty cats are talkative. They are talkative. Bless you. And with that, hello all you big cat lovers out there. It is me, Derek, again, and welcome to another super magnificent, splendid, fantastical walk around the compound webcast. Ah, yes. Delightfulness, fun, ingenuity. These are the things that make for a good webcast. Solano is being really talkative, so I'm going to try to make my way over there really quick and then probably backtrack and then see some of these kitties up here, like Sassafras. She doesn't want to say anything. See? I don't want to stick around with you if you're not going to be actually giving me anything. Grass around the compound. So much grass, Derek, so much grass. Now, is he going to stop talking because he hears me coming? And he's like, oh, I better clam up. I better shut my trap. Ya know. Hi. Really? Really? Oh. You were making so much moo noises. You were making so much moo noises. And then I get over and then you stop making moo noises. And don't read into that so much, because I know that some people are like, he's not mooing. Is he feeling okay? He's actually doing fine. The level and the number of his moos is not directly proportional to, you know, the good time feelings that he's having. Because obviously you can see he's in a decent mood. Hi, bud. Oh, there it goes. Okay, now we know you're in a good mood. Oh, you got a full belly, bud. I can see that. Got a little chub on you. That's a good thing, because he was getting a little bit skinny there for a while. Hi, Shadow. Hi. Yeah, he was getting a little bit skinny for a while. So we put him on a little bit more of an advanced feeding schedule. Had to make sure. And he was getting a couple of extra doses of proteins during the week. During the interim times in between normal feed times. Papa. How are you? I've seen some things, man. I've seen some things. there was a Pride member, an individual named Jason Savoy, asked a question in the comment section of the last webcast. He said, Derek, what was the biggest thing that's changed since episode 1? And I thought about that, and I was thinking, and I guess it's kind of hard to really pinpoint like any one particular thing that may have changed. I haven't gone back and like looked. I don't go back and like rewatch things. Like sometimes I'll watch a webcast to see how like before I post it or like immediately after I post it, just so I can get kind of a good gauge for how it sounded or how the thoughts came out. Or I'll see people's feedback and then I'll be like, they're kind of taking it a certain way, and then I go back and I'll rewatch a thing. But that's usually like pretty immediately after I post. I don't go back, like way back to the beginning stuff. I don't go back to that stuff and rewatch it. Maybe I should someday. I don't know. But from what few clips I have seen from some of those old things, I think just my ability to form thoughts and to just project those thoughts and project those ideas in a little bit more of a clear and concise manner. Trying to treat this thing kind of like it's more of a broadcast, where I'm not tripping over words, or I'm not doing as many ums or ahs. I'm doing ahs. Look at him, ah. Even though Clyde's not really being exactly awe-inducing. Yeah, I went there. I did. Ooh, angle. Oh, leaves. God, leaves. Don't be a douche, leaves. Hi, Clyde. Still not a great angle. Leaves, seriously. I've had enough of it. There we go. Getting into a argument with plants. You know, webcast stuff. But I think that's a big part of it. Also, I guess in the early days I didn't know what I was doing in so many ways. I was just kind of going forward in the dark, and that I was very apprehensive just about that simple fact. And it made me kind of nervous, just, you know, doing the material, and I didn't have as much confidence in the material. And you see a lot of the different things with Editor Derek, and I definitely was like really hard on myself with a lot of the stuff. I'm still very critical. I'm very hypercritical of the things that I do. Don't get me wrong. But I feel more comfortable just kind of, you know, letting things roll. Seeing where you go. Oh, not getting a whole lot of cats in this web. Oh, wait a minute. Right as I was saying, I was about to say not getting a lot of cats in the webcast. And then as soon as I did that, of course, this would have been the part in the movie, like where they're walking through the jungle like, well, we haven't really run across too many dinosaurs. And then all of a sudden the one dinosaur like jumps out of the grass. Oh, she was laying in wait for me to get closer. I'm gonna pretend like I haven't seen her, but I'm gonna point the camera in her general direction. I'm not looking at her. I'm just gonna walk. Whoa! Whoa! Oh my goodness! You would have eaten me. I would have been so eated. I would have been eated. Do you realize this? Look at her tail. Look at her tail. Look at it. Ugh. That's their tail. Some of them, not all of them, but that's definitely her tail. You know, get a little, just a little flick, 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 flick. Little crazy tail. Had to cut a hole in her crazy pants to fit her crazy tail through. That's how that works. Oh, yeah. Well, we're gonna have to pack it up, lads. There's no dinosaurs on this expedition. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Oh. That's... What? You don't like my acting. It doesn't matter. What do you know? How many movies have you seen? Milo! Oh, wait. Tawny? Tawny? So let's go inside. Let's go inside the back room. Let's go inside the back room of the vet centre. The vet centre. Oh. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Sugar Pie. You just hanging out in here? No. Yesterday was feed day, and she was very excited about her food. See, we've got, you know, two of our oldest gals just yucking it up here in the back room of the vet center. Hi. Hi, Tun-Tun. Hi, baby. And intern supervisor Heather is very pleased because these are her two favorite cats, besides Boomer and Slade. And like every single time that the girls come back to make lemur food or to make medicine for the other cats or to grab something out of the fridge or do something, then there's the kitty cats back here, and then they talk to them, and then they say hello, how are you, and all of that stuff. Yes. What do you want?
Just getting my water.
Just getting her water. This is Hope. Where's Hope from?
Michigan.
She's from Michigan.
Holland.
Holland, Michigan. I don't think she knows geography too well, because I think Holland is over in Europe. Hopefully she can understand cats better than she can understand maps. Michiganders numbers. Wah! Oh my gosh. Frisky Pants. What are you doing? Run, run, run. Sniff. Hi. Hi, Mr. Milo. Mr. Milo. Miss your Milo. Such a beautiful shepherd. All right, Cassie. We're coming back around. Now, you got anything to say? Says Press! Sass! No, she doesn't. Still does not have anything to say. And again, don't draw too much from that, being like, oh, so there's something significantly wrong with Cassie. Sometimes they're just not in the mood. Sometimes they just don't want to squeak. Sometimes they just don't want to move. I mean, they're cats. They do what they want, you know? Sometimes you can kind of be a cheerleader and you can get the pom-poms kind of going, rah, rah, sis, boom, bah. And you can kind of get them into that moo mode, rah, 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 rah. And sometimes you can't. It is what it is. It is what it is. Familiar face shout out. Familiar face shout out. It's my drum roll. I know a lot of you are probably leaning into the computer or the phone a little bit more intently, just like, is he gonna say me? Familiar face shout out. This webcast goes to Nora Wagar. Not a Wagner. Nora Wagar. You are a familiar face. I've seen your comments and I've seen your profile picture, and I'm like, hey, I am familiar with that profile picture and that name. I've seen her before. She's a familiar face. So, thank you very much for engaging in the content as much as you do. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for being a familiar face. Poopa. Poopa Luca. 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 Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know was I being too loud? I didn't mean to get crazy like that. I'll turn it down. So, since you're up anyway, how you doing? You know, it's just been kind of boring and lonely, you know, but I'm just glad that you're just up anyway, you know? What a sleepy boy. What a sleepy cutie pants. Ugh, he just talks like a baby all the time to the cats. Hate him. They like it. They like it. And I'm gonna do what they like. I'm not gonna do what one dumb troll likes. These guys are more important to me. Let's see, notes. See, I write notes now. You know, because I try to have a little bit more professionalism about my webcast and try to have a little bit more of a presentation for you folks so that it's just not all gobbledygook everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Chompers. Chompers. Oof. Someone is digesting some meat. Someone is definitely digesting some meat. Takes a lot of energy to digest all that meat. Yeah, it wipes them out. They eat so much, which actually he did. He ate a lot. He ate a lot. Yeah, he did. He ate a lot. Yeah, he did. Ate so much that you wouldn't even lock up. You wouldn't lock up and let us get it out of there. So, see if we can try to do that maybe in a little bit. Sometimes they do that. Sometimes they make the very conscious choice. No thank you, come back later. No, you can clean up the other cats right now. I am going to stay with my meat. So, thank you very much. But, piss off. Piss off. He's peeing right now. I know. The last webcast, the last webcast had Layla pooping. I posted a vine of Wally just peeing on a tree stump just for no reason, other than I just thought it would be kind of funny. And then now there's I'm just turning into a 5-year-old. Yes. I'm really trying to relate with the cats, you know, the kind of psychological level, kind of put myself in their shoes. You know, I'm just really trying to study up for a part, for a role. Hi, Kate. Kate. Oh, interesting thing that another Pride member, oh, wait a minute. Interesting thing that another Pride member had brought up into the comment section was something. Was a member named Veronica LaFond. She said Kate is one of her favorite underdogs. She loves Kate. She loves Kate the underdog. And then she said that, but then as far as her cool kids crew, she likes Solano and she likes Bonnie. And I thought that was kind of an interesting way of putting it, that there's some cats who are kind of, you know, they're kind of like underdogs, or maybe they're the cats that aren't necessarily the ones who are the most popular kids in school, and then there's some kids who are clearly, you know, varsity cheer squad. So, I ask you, who do you think are, or who are some of your favorite underdog cats and cool kids cats? Write that stuff in the comment section below. And why? Also, hashtag Dorbist Award. Don't forget about that. Dorbist Award. That's still a thing. Oh, also, title cards. Title cards are still a thing. I have not gotten too many title cards. But if you tweet them to me, if you email them to me or to Micah, we'll be able to put them up. Because that's what, and I'll let you just, I know Micah does, she does so much. She really, really does. I gotta hand it to her because people just email me. They for a long time, they were just emailing me just tons of title cards, just so many title cards. And then I would just like, I'd forward them right to Micah, be like, here's another one. Just hope, make sure they get up. Thanks, Micah. Thumbs up. Ding. And so yeah, she's a workhorse. She's a trooper. I appreciate that. All those tiny little background things, those behind the scenes elements. She does a lot of that stuff. So yeah, cool kids, underdogs. Like Savannah would probably be considered like an underdog. Hey, where'd you get some? I thought I was gonna zoom in on your Pete's because I could have sworn that I saw them coming out of their sheaths. They were coming out of their sheaths a little bit there, miss. Hey. Hi, baby. Oh, I know. Those boys, those babies, they're evil. They're evil. The evilest little babies in the world. Don't like them. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Face. Subi. Ah. She's so handsome. She's so handsome. Love learning about stuff. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Watched a pretty neat vid on the ASAP Science YouTube channel. They do these little like 3-4 minute clips where they do sciencey things, and then it's dry erase boards. A lot of you are probably pretty familiar with them, but if not, they're great. Subscribe. And I watched a video today about how there were 5 different major extinction events on the planet Earth since life began, stretching back hundreds of millions of years. And it was fascinating. Fascinating. It's talking about how over 99% of all life that has ever existed on the planet is extinct. It's now extinct. And then it was an interesting video because they said, like, are we currently in the beginning stages of potentially the 6th extinction event? And one of the more interesting elements of the video was saying that, like, I think it was like 3 or 4 of the different events were caused primarily by fluctuating levels of CO2 in the atmosphere. Oftentimes, a lot of times it was because of volcanic activity, stuff like that. Yeah, where it caused like major parts of the oceans to just freeze or glaciate and stuff like that. Or it made a there was one that was crazy. It made oh gosh, it put the average temperature of the ocean at 40 degrees centigrade, which that's insane. Like most of like 95% of all ocean life was wiped out. I think it was the Permian extinction. That was the big one. It was something like crazy, like something like 70-odd% of all land creatures were extinct, and then 95% of everything that lived in the ocean was just wiped out. And then it just got me thinking, because people are sitting there saying, like, if we don't treat the planet good, then it'd be like we gotta, like, yeah, and you're right. Think of it more like the planet is a crazy psycho killer, like a lunatic, like it's like Jason, Freddy Krueger, and it's like it's coming to get you. It's just a horrible, a mass murderer, and you gotta stay 10 steps ahead of it. You gotta stay 10 steps ahead of it because basically it just loves killing. 99% of everything that it's ever come across that was alive is now dead. So what does that tell you? It wants to see you dead. But you know what? We gotta rise up. We can't let it. We can't let it. That's kind of, I don't know, it was one of the things I was kind of drawn from it. The interesting perspective. Let's see if Ross is still crazy. Let's see if Ross is still mad at me. I think I saw her. She was over here. Over on this side. Grass, grass, grass. Grass, grass, grass. But then it also reminded me of another blog that I like to read called Wait But Why. I'm sure that a few of you are familiar with Wait But Why. I really like that because dude, he's a tremendously smart dude that writes. It's two dudes that put together, like one guy's more of a business guy, and then the other guy's kind of like just the eclectic, intelligent writer guy. Oh, hi, Rasa! No, my goodness, belly. Oh my goodness, stop! Oh, stop! Okay, I gotta hold the camera steady. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at it. This is really what's causing the CO2 levels to rise. This right here. Dorb's exposure causes an unsafe rise in CO2 levels, carbon. So we have to make sure that we are limiting our Dorb's exposure, or the ocean is gonna glaciate. It's gonna be problematic, folks. Make no mistake. Noises. But yeah, Wait But Why? And it was a really great article, and it was about Tesla, the new motor company, Tesla Motors, Elon Musk. Raddest man in the universe. Closest thing that we have to a reality-based Tony Stark. A real-life Iron Man. Yeah, that Elon Musk. The guy that basically invented PayPal, Tesla Motors, and SpaceX. The first company, private company, that was able to get successful NASA contracts. Guy's a pretty rad dude. And the whole post was about, it was just about Tesla, and it was about the motors, and about like how they're, potentially the idea for change. And it was great because I love the guy. I love his mind. The guy that writes the blog. I can't remember his name. I feel bad. It's either an Eric. It might be an Eric. I don't know. But I like how his mind works when it approaches like topics that he doesn't understand. And he was talking about how like there's a lot of times where topics get really, really complicated, like things that involve politics, or they involve, climate stuff, or they involve science, or they involve, political turmoil, or geographic, economic turmoil and stuff like that. And he feels like there's just this layer of fog, or he's likened it to where he feels like a 7-year-old in a room full of adults that are talking, and it's like he feels kind of weird and uncomfortable when there's topics that he like legitimately doesn't know about. So he works at really trying to like systematically remove the fog, and then create a tree trunk, so to speak, of knowledge and understanding that can be then rooted at the bottom of where this fog is at, so you can actually finally see the ground, and then the tree trunk of understanding gets planted, and then the branches of familial knowledge can then sprout. He's great at analogies too, by the way. Ooh, sunset. But it was a really good read because he was talking about the nature of energy. Because what he does, like, instead of just like going in and talking about like, and global warming and the planet and batteries and Tesla and how this is a very political thing, and he admits all this stuff is very politicized and there's still a lot of things that we don't know. But he says, like, just besides all that, let's just go into the things that we do know. And he goes back into like, okay, like what is energy? And whoa. Serena jumped up on her platform and is scared Sydney. Oh, poor baby. Poor sugar pie. Oh, no. Aw. I'm sorry. But that he breaks down like what is energy and like what is like as far as like how joules are concerned, how it like it's something that can move. It's a standard unit of measurement, something that can move like 1 Newton of mass or force, like the distance of 1 meter. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a scientist. Lay off me. But it's a standard unit of energy. And I think that, like, to give you a frame of reference, 1 calorie equals like 4 joules. So you can determine things like fire consumption or how many joules are like inside like a piece of wood that you could burn, or in a quart of oil that could be refined. He like goes back to that, and he like talks about how everything that is alive is actively involved in joule thievery, from the plants to all the animals. How the sun is giving off just tremendous radiant amount of joules, just showering the planet with abundant energy, and all the plants are absorbing that energy, just eating the joules up, just, and they're just eating the energy. And then the herbivores, the herbivores, they'll come up, and they want to steal, they want to take, they want to steal the energy of those plants. The herbivores, they don't make that energy, the plants make the energy, they're taking it. And then you've got animals like lions and tigers and leopards, predators, and they will systematically steal the energy that the herbivores have stolen. It was a great analogy how he was kind of talking about just energy and what it was, and the cycles that we are, and how we're all of us in the process of just like continuing our energy, because if we don't continue our energy, then we cease to be, we perish, we die. And we all of us have an instinctual proclivity towards maintaining the flow of that energy, of wanting to have that energy. And that's when he starts to go into, what like a piece of wood is, and how it basically is a cylinder that has trapped a large amount of carbon. Oh, excuse me. And I'm paraphrasing a lot of this stuff. But one of the big things is that the utilization of energy, or the extraction of energy, oftentimes for millennia was a very slow process. And then we discovered fire. And then we discovered that you can extract energy at an explosive rate. That you're literally taking carbon molecules that have been locked away inside of this piece of wood for years upon years upon years upon years upon years. And then you are able to then release its energy in a... And that's kind of a neat concept. On an evolutionary... Says I reached my max recording time. I'm talking about energy and talking about joules. I'm just getting so far off track. I'm not even really going after cats. I gotta make sure that I'm getting back at the cats. Gonna be a little bit longer of a webcast. I'm gonna try to tidy this one here at the end. But I'm on a roll, talking about the joules. But, yeah, it was really interesting. Because then, it's like from an instinctual standpoint, our desire for energy is naturally ingrained in us. And how the fact that we were able to harness things like fire, the fact that we were able to harness the power of the sun's energy that had been trapped away into wood, to then, use it to then, melt the elements and the minerals of the earth to, make metal and tools and steel, and how civilization came out as a result oftentimes of much of that harnessing of energy. And then he goes on to talk about how we were able to harness steam, and how that impacted and kicked off the Industrial Revolution, and how that really made things go. How we were consuming and discovering energy at a rate never before experienced on the planet. On the planet, we never had this before. And we started off trying to get our steam simply by burning wood, but wood was not enough. We needed more fire. We needed more fire. So then they started to find coal, the stuff that would wash up on the shores of the beaches. And that was a good substitute. That could make fire. That could make fire. That could power our steam turbines. And this promulgated, I think that's a word, promulgated progress. It catapulted it forward. This is the time, like, and it goes into like the massive amount of inventions in a relatively short period of time. Because the more people needed coal, the more that they started to dig to try to find it. And then they started finding things like natural gas. They started finding things like oil. And the analogy that he used was such a great one. It was so great. Where at the time, we were seeing all this progress. We were seeing all this economic just prosperity. The world was just becoming like, you know, like better, like the average, like the living of these industrialized nations was getting better. And it was like a dog that went out into the woods to try to bury a bone and ended up finding a cave, a cave full of an endless supply of pulled pork. That's what that like. The dog goes into the woods trying to bury a bone, finds an endless cave full of pulled pork. That's what us discovering our reserves of coal and natural gas and oil were. Because at the time, they wanted the energy. They were just harnessing the energy. Like, there was no idea that it could potentially have cataclysmic repercussions. It was a progress. It was a time of Edison. It was a time of Tesla. You know? How we were turning, like, the idea that electricity became like our magic butler. And how electricity was still to this day is being powered by fire. We're still harnessing the power of fire. Because most of our electricity in our homes is actually powered via the burning of coal. But it comes into our house, and it comes into our light bulbs through these nice, silent, clean little conduits. We don't see the dirtiness of how it was formed. We just see the nice lights. We get to flick a switch. Boop. It's there. But the whole article was talking about how, you know, we have the ability to really kind of like even like catapult ourselves into like new technological advancements, and how this may be like in our human history may be seen as like something called the fossil fuel era. And it's a time of our human history that it's going to be just like, oh, that was kind of it did elevate us to like even further levels of progress, but you know, it's good that we got out of it, you know, because we need to do that. We need to define the different kind of things. So yeah, it's great. Again, this is a great article. I wouldn't call it so much of an article as it was like a small book, because it's long. It's long, but it's on Wait But Why. Love it. Love that blog. Great. I know. I basically gave like a huge summation of like a really neat blog post that I found. Hope you like the webcast, guys. This one's getting pretty long. And there's a lot of not cats in it. So I got to make sure. We're going to talk. But you got to realize, like, these types of things are important to me. Okay? And the reason that these things are important to me is because I've come, yes, I see you, I acknowledge your presence, because these animals are important to me, and the more that I've grown about these animals, and the larger that my social media voice has grown, the more I feel compelled to talk about things, and to talk about the natural world that we live in, and to, you know, to use them as a backdrop and as like a muse and as inspiration for maybe how we can try to just make things better. And it's a lot of different things in the world that, you know, it seems like we gotta do. So if I can promote ideas like that, or spread a little bit of knowledge, then I think that's a good thing. I think that's the step in the right direction. And like I said, before, as far as content and what's changed, I mean, I'm still just kind of making a lot of this stuff up as I go. Not the actual subject matter, but like the way that I steer the ship, you know, that way. But yeah, I mean, I think that may be one of the biggest ones. I embrace the journey a little bit more now than I did before. So, not so scared of the open waters, maybe like I was before. So that's probably the biggest change. Yeah. Anyway, this webcast is just starting to just become into just a rambling mess. Oh, and I also wanted to talk about different things as far as, like, you know, mineral dependence on economies and how that affects political structures, and how it's more than just large, you know, capitalist fat cats getting rich off of the exploitation of the environment, man. Like here, we're in Texas, like, there are massive communities that are built on things like the extraction of minerals out of the ground. Like roads and schools and hospitals. So it's a very complex issue. It's very new. I mean, there's a lot of elements. There's a lot of things. A lot of people, they want to take like sides on one side, or this is doing this, or it's hurting this, or well, it's doing over this and the money. Yeah, there's a lot of things to think about, a lot of things to talk about. But like I said, webcast is getting crazy. Celine is getting crazy. I'm so sorry. This one just got all sorts of long. I'll talk to you folks later, okay? Bye-bye. Nope, she didn't take the bait. All right, baby. Oh my gosh, look at the tiger. Yeah, sometimes you get that. All right, bye-bye.